Greetings! Welcome to my actual kitchen table. I'm at a little tiny house in Salt Spring Island in Canada. Whoa. Welcome to episode 3 of POLYTALKS, which was weirdly uploaded after episode 4. There's an explanation there that I don't care to give. So, today we're again talking about what I was talking about in the first version of episode 3, which is kitchen table polyamory. How many of you know what it is? How many of you have absolutely no clue? That's kind of the point of this video. What I also want to talk about beyond the definition of kitchen table is how not to go into it mentally, which goes for all relationships. So first off, definition, kitchen table polyamory is not for me. Not for me at this time. It is basically, I would describe it as an atmosphere of connection within all the members of your polycule. So polycule being all of your various partners, your metamours, being able to come together at a quote unquote kitchen table and just hang out. So it's that kind of casual, frequent, natural desire for everyone in there to just want to see each other anytime and be friendly enough, obviously, like be quite friendly with each other so that everyone just kind of pals. The reason it's called kitchen table in general is because that atmosphere of a kitchen table in the morning where everyone is gathering because they're kind of just like cozy family, everyone's just wearing whatever you wear at the kitchen table in the morning, drinking coffee together, that kind of thing creates a real good image of what it would feel like ideally to have kitchen table poly. So kitchen table poly, adorable in theory. I still think it totally can be done. It's just maybe a lot less common than people want to believe, which there's no right or wrong in polyamory, my dudes. Like kitchen table, I do feel like a lot of people see it as their ideal in the same way that maybe a unicorn is seen as an ideal to achieve, because kitchen table feels safe, right? It feels like everyone there is beyond basically respectful, but now just getting along. It's like ideal. It's like paradise in polyamory, right? Like even the metamours are just like good with each other. Like that is true polyamory, right? So I feel that a couple of people that I know personally talk about kitchen table and how much they want to achieve it before they even have partners, or before they have anyone to really ask if that person also wants to engage in kitchen table with them. And this is numero uno mistake that I think exists just in relationships in general, not just polyamory, but polyamory for sure, because it is such a lifestyle by design thing that people do tend to think they can literally design not only their lifestyle, but the people within it. That's where it gets really messed up and kind of dangerous mentally. So here's my one word of warning against kitchen table, because in case you're thinking this way, I just would encourage you to stop it sooner than later. And it's very similar to the mindset that a lot of people go into unicorn hunting with. And there's a reason why a lot of folk in the polyamory community will meet someone who says they're looking for a unicorn with some aggression. Not that I'm validating aggression, because we should all be nicer to each other. But let's start with unicorn hunting first, and then I'll talk about how it's similar to kitchen table. Unicorn hunting requires maybe previously monogamous couple going out and looking for their perfect polyamorous unicorn who will manage to love both of those people in that opening couple equally and at the same time and fall in love at the same rate. And it's almost like that unicorn is by design. So you go out with the intent of finding this person who will be able to help you check off a lot of little points you have on your internal list. Some people actually have an external list too, which is horrifying. Guys, don't do that. The reason that unicorns are hard to find is because what you're actually looking for is a person who is insecure enough, perhaps, to want to do whatever you ask of them, and who puts those actions ahead of the idea that you will just get to know them as a person. So if you're asking anyone to be within your relationship, or to be in a relationship with you because they've agreed to do certain things a certain way, this is what it means to treat someone like an object. So this is all me, like, after reading more than 2 and kind of just seeing how a lot of people suffer in the dating world in general, because they'll go out with a laundry list of check marks they would love a person to fulfill, and then when they find someone, that relationship might go well for a short amount of time, but then you kind of quickly realize that, oh, I haven't actually gotten to know this human as a human being before I required that they fit in a lot of boxes for me. So, similar to kitchen table. Kitchen table, as I said, is idealized a little bit because it's got that cozy atmosphere. It's got so much friendliness going on, hypothetically, for a lot of folks. But if you're going out looking for partners and you're saying to them, oh, I would love the idea that you would participate in kitchen table with me. I totally prefer that all my metamours meet and know each other and hang out, or just everyone in my polycule, basically. There's nothing wrong with stating that you want that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to shut yourself off and not express yourself and say what your ideal is. But you gotta recognize that it is an ideal and how to act around an ideal. So an ideal should not be imposed on people. And a lot of you, honestly, I know you're not doing it on purpose. It's not like we're all going out and are trying to create Barbie dolls to fit in our Barbie doll lives. It's never intentional usually. It's just a control thing. It's a bit of a fear thing. Polyamory requires that we all step backwards from our emotions a lot, quite frequently. And to really get true kitchen table happening, it will just depend on a lot of factors. And you've got to accept that it's going to depend. I think the tagline for polyamory should be, it depends. And it will change often depending on who enters or exits your polycule, or even just what mind space people enter or exit throughout the term of being with you. Kitchen table will not always be permanent if it is achieved, and it won't always it won't always be impermanent. It might actually just be a thing that is really natural for some people. But just don't put that as don't wear that as a defining label of hello, I'm here to meet other people who also want to do kitchen table poly with me, because you just can't know. And it's also pretty impossible to both get to know someone as a human being in their own right and also encourage them to live your ideal lifestyle like they're an object at the same time. You're only doing one or the other. So see things like kitchen table or any facet of your idealized lifestyle with someone or a set of people as a bonus if it happens. That's what I would recommend. And this is also a space to say, if you don't love the idea of kitchen table, please say so. Please say so to your partner who maybe does want it and is asking you about it. I think that's a seaplane. Is that interrupting? I don't know. It's cute here. So kitchen table to me at this time, it doesn't sound super great. I just don't want to have people over that often. There's also just there's no real big desire for myself or my current partner to meet my other partner. They've met. I think that it's very, very important to have a baseline willingness to meet each other. Otherwise, I might be covering up some real grand insecurities. So it's really good to at least want to meet, to just talk about even just baseline, I am terrified of you type things. That is so good. But to have people need to hang out and form relationships outside of you, it's just bonus, my dudes. So don't feel like you're being a cold, disheartening killer of the polycule vibe if you want to say that you're just not into kitchen table. It's totally fine, and no one has any right to tell you that you're being anything other than fine, as long as you're being nice and respectful and not super rude and mean or insulting to the people in your polycule. Like, as long as that's not the baseline for you saying no, then you're completely solid. Some people just have busy lives. Some people are just not social in that way. Some people just don't love their metamours, which is also totally fine. You still need to treat them respectfully, but you don't have to love them and see them at the kitchen table in the morning or at the movies or at dinner. Like, you just don't have to do what you don't want to do. It's a crazy concept, I know. There is a fine line here between some balance with your partner, but just make sure, my friends, that you are getting to know the members of your polycule or potential new members as humans before you encourage or sometimes unwillingly coerce them into acting a certain way in order to be with you, because that just makes everyone feel like poop. Anyway, thank you for joining me for episode 3 of POLYTALKS. I will talk about boundaries, personal boundaries in polyamory next, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to do some writing about that because that could probably be like a 10-part series, let's be honest. So I'm going to go outside now and like explore South Spring Island and such. Land of the adorable farming hippies. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.